Yes, this is my hair. And no, we're not gonna talk about it. Ever since the start of quarantine, all you hear people talk about is how insanity has consumed their day-to-day life, but also how you should maintain as much as possible an active lifestyle. These days sure have thrown a lot of parents out of the loop because they can't complain anymore. Oh my god, my kid doesn't go outside and whatever, it's just hooked on technology, goddamn technology. Oh, I do this thing with my whatever. And listen, I'm no stranger to exercise. Obviously, I wouldn't be making this video if I was. But I took upon myself to continue working out through the quarantine in hopes that everybody comes out of their houses fuck as fuck? What? Fat as fuck. I, the Virgin Walker, suddenly become the Shat Strider. That sounds like shit Strider. Now that, well, and I would still be a virgin too, because there's not much I can do inside this room. But it's a work in progress, and I'm sure most of you couldn't agree less, so I thought, let's talk about my experience with fitness throughout my life. Also, this video has been in the plans for so long that I don't give a fuck anymore. And another thing, it's really hot in this room, and I don't typically wear a t-shirt, so I'm very uncomfortable right now, and I want to get this over with, so let's begin. Okay, I don't know about you all, but I've never seen a kid say to himself, I should hit the gym. I think if you were a kid and you thought that, if you worked out as a kid, your parents are probably drug dealers and you're just trying to see if you would ever make it to your 16th birthday, where you would fight your dad to the death. However, what my snot-dripping, stinky, punchable kid self did not realize is that in this time of your life, it's where, if you were a nerd, you'd say, it's where your initial stats are set. Before high school, fuck that, who gives a hot damn about exercise? But then you hit high school and you realize, maybe the football team was onto something here. I was never a very active kid, but I was never inactive to the point of being, I don't know, fat. Like, I'd get by, but I could be destroyed in a fight quite easily. I remember I did swimming for a while, and I also vividly remember the swimming instructor making fun of me the whole time because I was such a weird kid and a terrible swimmer. Shit is not looking good right now. I also did judo for a while, but this one time the teacher, I was battling him or whatever you do in judo, and he did this one move where he grabs you like this and he falls backwards, but he also kicks you in the stomach, making you flip over him, and I flipped and I hit the ground like a clap, and then I got up and I got my bags and I left because I think I was done with judo for, this lifetime. A couple of one-shots. I remember I participated in an indoors football tournament, or soccer if you're kind of goofy, and I sucked very bad because I remember, and you'll notice every time I say I remember, nothing good is gonna come out. But I remember it was this very intense moment in the game, and I found myself with the ball in front of the goal with no goalkeeper inside, nobody in front of me really. All I had to do was put it in, and I went there. My foot went backwards, like kind of like Oliver Benji kind of style. It went back, and I kicked it, and the ball went about 4 miles away from where I was supposed to. What is wrong with you? I also ran once this cross-country race at my school, which is a lie because it was at school, the race, so it couldn't be cross-country. But I guess there were a couple trees in the school, so it counted. I don't know, semantics. Anyway, I finished third from last, and the two people behind me was my cousin, who was fat as fuck, and I think he gave up at some point in the race, and my best friend at the time, who was also quite fat. And I'm not trying to fat shame here, but when you're fat, you kind of don't have running high up in the to-do list, so I kind of finished last. So that's how it went with everything. But it all changed because I realized my frail body was not fuckable. Okay, 15-year-old me had some priorities. Once you're in high school, it starts becoming, socially expected that you acquire this funny little beef sandwich we call vagina. And it's also interesting that during high school, you're going through what's probably the worst phase of your life. Like, you look at yourself in the mirror and you think to yourself, is this it? is this the bottom? And you know, it's not a bad thing because it implies that it gets better. But yeah, it's the bottom. So I would often evaluate my soccer playing peers and I'd realize they're fucking bigger than me in every single way. What the fuck am I gonna do? That's when I said, fuck it. Something has to change. Something has to grow. And I decided it would probably be easier to just grow my muscles. And I started curling these tiny dumbbells. They're like 3 kilograms, 6 pounds before bed. That's what I did. It really did not change much. So as you can imagine, at some point curling those tiny little beads was not enough. So I switched to this one dumbbell that I still have for some reason, even though I have others that are heavier and they're too. But anyway, I still have this for some reason. And it's 7 kilograms, so it's kind of more reasonable, but I still only curled. In 11th grade, things started to get a little bit more interesting, you know. Girls started being a little more appetizing, and I still believed that the only way I was gonna get them was through fitness alone. Which I barely did. Okay, now I need to share an important fact about my life at that moment. In high school, I was living in my grandma's house, and what's important about that is that my grandma's house, I'm gonna eyeball it, was about 30 feet from the local gym, which was free. And I still did not go. And why? Get this, my socially anxious self thought that if I, Twiggy Man Mark V, entered Shad Cathedral, I would be eaten alive and torn limb from limb for even attempting to desecrate their holy grounds with my disgusting and downright pukey attempts at fitness. But it all changed when my friend zoners when my friend zoners decided that yes, you should work out and you should get ripped solely just to clap some cheeks. Not their cheeks, of course. No. They were being completely altruistic to some unknown woman in the future. Praise be them. Not dead. They're not dead. One day, and without warning, they just showed up at my grandma's house and I was quite literally dragged into the gym by the leash known as peer pressure. With that rather forceful experience, I learned that gym chads are actually quite nice people. I mean, sure, their approach can be direct at times, but they just want the best of you. Hey there, buddy, I see you working out. Yeah, I'm proud of you. Let me see what you're working with. No. A big man like you could use like 5 more cookies on the other side. Come on. Yeah, okay. Now lift it up. Come on, lift it up. Come on, you can do it. Lift it up. Lift it up. Also would like to point out that the girls that came with me to the gym never came back. Anyway, this was it. I had zeroed in on who I wanted to impress with my physical prowess, and I'll be honest, I was starting to look the part. But I didn't know how I would do that impressing thing, but I was gonna try it. I started signing up to a lot of sports events, so long as she was going to, because what else would be the point? I'm not trying to look for self-validation and self-worth. The fuck? Get out of here. And those went... going to the gym on a weekly basis does not really put you, a step ahead of guys who do actively sports. So I was hoping would be one of those, it's the intention that counts, isn't he cute trying moments, you know what I'm saying? Another idea I had was to practice for the
FETUS Gram Pacer test,
which honestly is not exactly what most teenagers aim for, but at the time my grandma had this tiny dog which doubled as a nuclear power plant, and someone had to regulate the power surges or else would combust or something, and it was me. I just took it out for some runs, and while I was never the most endurant kid, is that how you say, endurant? Anyway, I was never the one to run for a long time. English. I started building up some momentum and I could run for quite a while, and I'll just say, the day of the Fitness Gram Pacer test rolled in and your boy did over 100 laps. Not too many over, but it was over 100. And she was impressed. And so was like everybody else, because no one really does that. But also, we should keep in mind that a baby talking is also pretty impressive, but the bar is really low. And it was kind of the same thing also. All the other guys probably could do the same thing. Nobody gives a shit about running 100 laps. It doesn't matter. It almost sounds like maybe I should seek validation from myself by achieving things and not from other people. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sound really quirky over here. Oh, I should mention she did not really... She was impressed, but that was really it. It didn't... Anyway, let's talk more further into the journey, where some bumps on the road happens and stuff. So with graduating high school and moving to a new place, I had to figure out what am I gonna do now. So I thought that maybe signing up for the gym right next to my college was a good idea. But I quickly realized something. My wallet was shrinking. Just keep in mind that up to this point, I went to a gym which was free, or I either went to another gym which I paid like €3 a week. So 30 a month was pretty noticeable. If you ever have gone to a gym where the price range is about the same, I think you can relate to this, because I realized quite fast that I was not going to the gym as often as I should to make up for how much I pay for it. And I also felt quite guilty with leaving, because I thought, this is the working out. Am I giving up here? Is that what's happening? So I didn't leave for a while until I wanted to. And let me just talk about that for a second. Can someone tell me why the fuck gym memberships are so hard to get rid of? It felt like I had contracted financial AIDS. Not only was there an actual contract which I signed and regretted, saying that I had to stay for X number of months before I was allowed to quit because they're doing that direct debit shit. But when the time came that I could leave, they fucking closed for the summer, making me pay for another... I didn't even go. I didn't even step in the... Oh my god, it's an understatement to say that I was left with a sour taste about paying for gym memberships. Also, it got worse when I found out that my friend, deadass, blocked the bank account access that he gave in the contract, making them not be able to get his money, but somehow they didn't notice, so we was able to go for free for months. Why did I pay so much for? What was the reason? So I went for about a year without working out, until at some point afterwards I had this genius realization. I could just buy weights, and that way I would have something to put on the floor and not pick up for a year, but then eventually do pick it up, and I could start working out from home without ever needing to go to a gym. And honestly, I do prefer to go into a gym. It's a personal reason, not saying you shouldn't do it, but I just think that once you have the weights at your home, you don't really need to go anymore, unless you just want this, to use the machine that they have and you can't really do it. But other than that, you probably have already enough. There's a lot more I want to say about working out at home and all that, but I don't want to drag this video more than it has already been dragged for. I don't know how long this is. It sounds pretty long, so if you guys want to hear me talk about this shit in another video, I'd suggest maybe you'd like this video so I could see, the support. And if you don't want me to talk about this, go to hell. I'm kidding. I'll look at all the options, but I kind of do want to talk about it though, and it's kind of my channel. But if nobody wants it, I won't do it. But just saying. Do I have the sweat stain? Yeah, I do actually. But I wore black for a reason. It's really hot in here. But I'm glad I recorded this, and I hope it looks good. And shit. I haven't done a video in a while. But anyway, it's over. It's long enough. Goodbye.